Good morning. All right, so I didn't take any video action of it, just a few little clips here and there, and I'll share those. But we transformed the backyard this weekend. So what I did out here is I'm watering now, just doing some quick little 10 minutes at a time, just keeping whenever you plant new grass seed, you don't want to like drench it. You just want to sort of keep the soil moist and damp so that seed can generate. And then as the seed starts to germinate and the grass starts to germinate and grow, then you start to decrease your frequency and increase the number of times. So you're soaking it more. So you're training that water to go deeper. So all we're doing here is just like little 10 minutes per little area. I don't have an irrigation system back here yet. So I'm just using sprinklers to connect it to all my various hoses and stuff. One of which, the big one here, is running all the way to the front corner of the house. I need to run a 1-inch line back here. So what I'm actually going to do is where our 1-inch PEX line comes into our basement, before our pressure regulator valve, I'm going to tee off of that and then put a backflow preventer and then actually run a line out here for irrigation, so that we'll have a line to run for irrigation, because we have 95 pounds of pressure at the street, and running that through a 1-inch PEX line. This one is coming off of a tee that's basically in our box at the front that our plumbing guy put in for an irrigation tap. He tapped us out a 1-inch line with a shutoff, and I've got this running off of that. And this is a 3/4 inch water hose here, and we've got plenty of pressure and flow, so that thing is shooting a good 40 feet. So what did we do this weekend? So a few things we did. For one, I'm trying to fix the drainage problem over here. Every time it rains, we get all of her water coming down that way, because none of her downspouts are piped there. So we get all the water running off her yard, and it runs off all the way down to about right there, down onto our driveway, and then it hits the driveway here and runs down the edge here, and all culminates right here in this corner. So what I did, and I'm not finished with this yet, I've got to go get some bagged concrete and mix it up. But what I did here is put in an 18-inch basin, and holy smokes, those things are expensive now. I spent like $400 on that thing. The grate itself was $140 just for the plastic grate that goes on top. Insane how expensive thing is. Oh, by the way, grass seed right now, because of inflation and all this stuff, I put down Lesco All Pro Transition Blend here. I've always used Lesco Transition Blend for my fescue yards I've had. It's a fantastic seed product. It has very, very minimal trash in it, very minimal weeds. Germinates great, good, healthy stand of grass that lasts a long time. I've got a lot of experience with it, and I love that stuff. So that's what I put down here. $218 for a 50-pound bag now. $218. A year ago, it was like $120 a bag. 2 years ago, it was like $80 a bag. It is insane how much the price has gone up on seed. So I bought 2 50-pound bags of seed. I used about 80 pounds of seed back here. This is about, I would say somewhere between 16, 17, maybe 15 to 16,000 square feet. We're probably 160 feet across here, and then we're about 100 feet that way. So let's call that 16,000 square feet. So I use about 80 pounds of seed. You can do the math on that. Well, my application rate, I think that's like 5 pounds per 1,000 square feet or something like that. And then I put down what did I put down? I guess I put down a bag and like a quarter of starter fertilizer. So I put, let's say 60 pounds of starter fertilizer out on this. And so what we did, and oh, by the way, so all of that, and then I bought that basin right there, a grate for the basin, a snap fitting for that, and then I bought 100 feet of 6-inch corrugated pipe, and I bought 100 feet actually, I bought 200 feet of 4-inch corrugated pipe. So that was, I spent 1,100 at Site 1, and then I spent another 500 on the rest of the pipe at Lowe's. So, because Site 1 didn't have any 6-inch pipe, and if I'm just going to buy pipe, I'll buy it all from the same spot. So I went to Lowe's and bought the pipe because they had 6-inch pipe at Lowe's. And so all that, like $1,600 just to do the backyard. And then I'm renting the Kubota SVL 75 from my buddy. He just sort of charges me a cheap rental rate and charges me for gas just to sort of cover wear and tear. So between the rentals and all that, and then I had to go rent a Harley rake. So I rented a Harley rake from a local rental place because my buddy's Harley rake is broken right now. And he doesn't really use it that much anymore, so just doesn't have an incentive to fix it. So I rented a Harley rake from a local rental company. That was $200. So, I mean, we probably spent close to almost $2,000 just to get this backyard going. So, a few weeks ago, my buddy that I rented the 75 from came in here with his SVL 97 Kubota machine and a forestry mulcher, and he mulched. Basically, we had from right around here back was all just dense thicket. It was mostly Chinese privet, and from basically right here back, he mulched all of that stuff down, mulched down all the little trees, left the big trees, cleared all that out, left me with a whole bunch of mulch all over the ground. So what I then had to do is go run over it with the Kubota and scoop up a lot of the mulch, take the layer of mulch off the top, because you don't want too much mulch on there because it hasn't broken down yet. So it's actually going to rob nitrogen from the soil as it breaks down. It will create nitrogen in the future, but right now as it's breaking down, it's going to rob nitrogen. So I basically just pushed it off to the sides all the way around the perimeter of the yard, smoothed everything out, and then I used his trencher attachment. He has a 6-inch Bradco trencher attachment for the Kubota, and I trenched from here all the way down to right there. And I ran out of pipe about right here. Luckily, my buddy I rented the machine from had a 12-foot stick of 6-inch pipe at his house, so he gave that to me. So I put that there, and then I still was a little short, so I basically just dug a little swale the rest of the way to the creek so that water will run into the creek. And then we ran a 4-inch pipe from over here on this corner. I raked back this gravel, dug underneath the path over here, ran a pipe all the way down. You can see I had to buy another 100-foot roll of pipe, and I have a bunch left over, but I'll use it for something else later. So I ran that down, trenched it down here, and then we had another pipe right over here that is coming off of that downspout there, and then it wise into this downspout here, and then it comes out right here. That's the pipe I told you about in the other video where the slab guys screwed it up and put all their stakes in it. So that's an abandoned pipe. It's a piece of conduit now to run stuff through. So there's another pipe right below it. I haven't buried that little section yet. And that runs down and that wise into the other pipe, and then that 4-inch pipe dumps out down there just past where the grass is into the creek. So all the runoff from the driveway runs down there to the creek, which it already runs that direction anyways. So it just runs across the yard and washes everything out in the process. So now it's in a controlled environment. We also have you can't really see it over there, but there's a little bit of a swale that we dug out when we were originally grading the yard. So all the water that comes down that side sort of dumps out over there by the basement garage out of the downspout pipes, and then it runs in a swale and runs back there. In the future, I'm actually going to pipe all that stuff off, but I need to run like a 12-inch pipe back there and do a lot more work. So that's a future project to come. I wanted to get this done now because every time we get a heavy rain, we get a river of water running right across here, and it washes this whole section out right here as it makes its way down to the creek. So now I've got that basin there. We'll trap all that water. It'll go in that basin, go out the 6-inch pipe down to the back. Like I said, I'll go get some bagged concrete, mix it up, and I basically just pour a little bit of a bowl around there for all that water to come off the driveway and go into that basin, drain into that basin and get off the driveway. And then after we're done with that, I'm going to get some more gravel, and we'll backfill some more gravel right up on this edge of the driveway here. So that's the plan. And then in the back, what we also did is once I smoothed everything out, once I filled all my trenches back in, I smoothed everything out with the Kubota. There was a high spot right over there. I took a little bit of that dirt and moved it right there. And then we just sort of spread that all around here. We've got some fantastic topsoil back here. But one of the downsides of our lot is this used to be a big farm. And I guess the trash pit for the farm was right here. So we do have fantastic topsoil back there, but in that fantastic topsoil is a lot of trash. So you can kind of see some of it here. Well, that's house wrap from the neighbor's house, but all this right here, and there's piles of it. I've got to go around with a wheelbarrow and pick it all up, but there's piles over there around those trees on the perimeter. There's piles of trash. There's trash over there. There's trash over there. Trash all along here. I just pushed it off to the sides. I mean, you name it, it was in there. There was old fence posts, and there's barbed wire, and there's plastic bags, and there's seed bags, and there's a couch cushion, and there was, you know, bricks, and I mean, all kinds of stuff piled in this. They just basically buried it back here. And when we were building the house, I found it because when we were doing our sort of getting ready to do our final grade, I came back here with the Kubota one day and filled up a whole dumpster full of trash. Probably, I guess, half of a dumpster, a small dumpster. Filled it full of trash. And then there was still some more back here under the overgrown part where we had cleared. Because when we built the house, our 75-foot impervious buffer line is right about where my thumb is. So we only cleared to that point right there. And then the 50-foot buffer line is technically an undisturbed buffer, and I disturbed it. Don't tell anybody, but I guess you're seeing this on the internet, so it doesn't matter. But in my defense, all of this was invasive Chinese privet, so I cleared all the invasive species out, and I put in grass, right? So I'm not building anything back here. I left all the trees. We took out the little scrub trees, and then I left all the big trees, so we left a canopy of trees here. We left it very natural, and I left it natural along the edge of the creek, and then we'll seed in grass here, so it'll just be grass back here. So, and then we fixed all the runoff issues and all that stuff. So the reason we only cleared to like right here is just because of, you know, the building department would have a fit if we started disturbing within that undisturbed area. They'll have a fit with you. So we waited till after we were finished with the house to do this. And now that we've got it all smoothed out, it looks nice. And we've got a fescue yard back here that'll grow through there. And we still left, like my property line is all the way over there. So all this is natural. On the whole other side of the creek, that's all natural. And then this whole area over here going back is still my property, and that's all natural. I just wanted a larger area for grass. We're gonna come put a fence in here and fence it off so the dog can run back here and all that stuff. So we wanted just a sort of a cleared grassy area, keep critters and snakes away from the house. You know, that was just a thick brush pile of who knows what was living in there. So all that is gone, all that's cleared out, and it looks fantastic. So now we're just watering it in. Like I said, I smoothed everything out. I ran the Harley rake over it a bunch of times, got it nice and smoothed out. And then after I Harley raked it, I started raking it out just to smooth stuff out with just a 3-foot landscape rake. And I was like, you know what, screw this. I was so tired. My arms were tired from digging. Even though I trenched it out with a trencher, you still got to do some digging there. So my arms were just tired from the weekend. So I decided to I took a couple pallets out of their dumpster over there, and I tied one of the big pallets to the back of the skid steer, and I just drove it around and drug it around the yard, just used it as a drag and smoothed everything out. And then I came in, that was actually after I seeded. So I used the Harley rake, and then I came in here and I spread all the seed out. I put all the grass seed, I put all the fertilizer out, and then I ran the drag across it to sort of pack that seed in, get a little bit of soil cover over top of it. So now that's all packed in and we're just watering it. It's been about 10 minutes now, so I'm gonna go turn off this sprinkler here. And I think we're pretty well watered in. And so that's it. So stay tuned for more projects out here. But I wanted to share this with you today. So it's looking good, and now I gotta go get some work to do today. I've got my CPA has got a bunch of documents for me. So, all right, have a good one, guys. See ya.